Now, last lesson, we have achieved something incredible. We gave a contact book a permanent memory using I/O, input output. So your programs can now talk to your computer and then saving and loading data. But what if the data that you need is not in your computer at all? Right? What if you want to know the current weather in Cape Town, or the latest Bitcoin price, or just a really good random joke? All right, so that information lives on other computers, on massive servers all over the world. How do we get our little Python program to talk to them? So today we'll open the door to the entire internet. We're going to learn about APIs. Now, let me give you an analogy. So the term API sounds intimidating, but the concept is very simple. API stands for Application Programming Interface. So that's Application Programming Interface. Let's break it down with an analogy everyone that can understand. A restaurant. So you are your Python's program. You want something, and then the kitchen is the server with the data that you want. For example, Google servers with map data, or a weather station server with the temperature data. So you can't just barge into the kitchen. It's complex, it's private, right? You don't know the rules. And then the menu is the documentation that tells you what you can order. And then the waiter is the API. So the waiter is the intermediary. So you make the structured request to the waiter from the menu. Maybe you say, I'll have a burger, please. Then the waiter goes to the kitchen, follows all the complex procedures, gets the food, and brings you back a structured response, the burger on the plate. So an API is the waiter for the internet. So it's a set of rules and tools that allows different programs to talk to each other in a structured way. Now, making a request in Python to order from the internet's restaurant, we need a special tool. It's a third-party tool. It's a third-party Python library called requests. It's the gold standard for this job. So because it's not built in, we need to install it. So this is a new skill. We'll use Python's package manager, pip. So on the terminal, we can just, I think I can just say go back here, or rather it's fine where I was working with files, and then we can just install. So we can just say pip install requests. Okay, so now we do have this error that says could not install packages due to environmental error. Access is denied. So, and you don't have to worry about it. This is not Python's error. This is the computer's operating system acting like a firewall or a security guard. So it's a great learning moment. Let me just break it down what's happening. So when we run pip install requests, we're telling the computer that go and add new request book to the let's say, imagine your Python's installation at Python 3.9, right? In Python 3.9 is the main school library. So it's shared, it's protected resource. So when we run this command, we tell the computer, go add this new request book to the main school library. So your computer, specifically Windows, sees that you are a student, like a regular user account, not a head librarian, which is the administrator. So the security guard steps in and says, win error 5, access is denied. You don't have permissions to change the main library, right? So the best and safest method to actually install this will be to say pip install, and then we're gonna say flag user requests. All right, So this is like telling PIP, instead of putting this book in the main library, just install it on my personal bookshelf in my dorm room. So your user account has the full permissions to change your own personal space. So this is the recommended way to install packages for most users, because it doesn't interfere with the system's main Python installation. So if we run this, this should actually be installed correctly. So this will install the request library in a special folder just for your user account where you have full permissions. So it should actually work perfectly. So now PIP is a program that does go out and fetches code packages written by other developers and installs them for us to use. Now that we have it, then we can write some code. So I'm just going to create a new file here. And let's just call it API. Now we're going to use a simple free API that gives us a random joke. So first we have to import requests. And then we'll have URL, the endpoint, the URL of the API endpoint where the actually waiter goes, and then we'll make a request. Now the first thing that we should always do is to check the status code. Okay, 200 means everything is okay. Then the API will send back the data in a format called JSON. Alright, so the .json method automatically converts it into Python's dictionary. And we can just say data dot it's response dot JSON. So that will just convert it into Python dictionary. And we can go ahead and print. Now we can just use our dictionary skills just to get the data that we want. The joke of the day, and say your joke of the day. So we import requests, and then we use requests.get URL to send our order to the API. So this returns a response object. So response.status underscore code is like the waiter telling us, okay, 200, okay, oh sorry, we are out of that, which is 404. Okay, so we should always check this. 200 means okay. So the data comes back in a format called JSON. Now the beauty of JSON is that its structure is visually identical to Python's dictionaries and lists. And then the .json method on our response object does the magic of conversion for us, turning the JSON text into Python's dictionary that we can immediately use. And then we just access the data using the keys set up and punchline, just like we would with any dictionary. Alright, so we can run this. API practice. Alright, so we just unlocked a limitless source of data for your applications. Almost every major service on the internet, Google, X, Facebook, weather services, financial data providers, has an API for you that you can interact with. Next time we'll learn about handling potential errors in our programs. So what do we do when a file doesn't exist, or API is down, or the user types in a text instead of a number? We'll learn about try and except.